John, first a word about Neil as he leaves the club. He's won so much here, of course, as both a player and a manager. How would you like to pay tribute to all that he's given to the club and the supporters?
I think obviously times of late have been tough, and everybody's felt that, none more so than Neil, because I've worked very close with him, got to know him really well. I knew him from the past, but I got to know him much deeper now, and he was giving his all in terms of everything he did was for Celtic, and everything he did was to try and bring success. He knows better than anyone that this season, we've not quite reached the levels we wanted to. But in terms of what he's achieved in his career here, he's given so much of his life to Celtic as a player and as a manager. He's had huge success as well. So we also got to remember the positives that he brought to the club.
You now take over, and as a person who's steeped and whose family's steeped in Celtic, going back of course to your grandfather who played for the club during wartime, how do you feel personally at stepping into the role?
Yeah, it's strange, it kind of, it's not one you're ever really fully expecting. When you're in a situation in terms of where we were sitting, collectively as a group, falling below where we wanted to be, and with that comes pressure, but again you just have to deal with what comes your way, and the club have asked me to step in at the moment, and take charge of the team, which obviously I'm more than happy to do, but ultimately it's not about me, it's about doing the right thing for both the team and the club. That's all I care about. I have to park my own ambition aside and just do the right thing day to day, which I think will help the club moving forward.
The season's coming to a close relatively soon, and you're taking the reins at a difficult time. What are your short-term goals?
Again, we just got to take small steps. It's a challenging time for everyone. No one likes it when people lose their job. Especially the manager who's worked ever so hard here. But again, we just got to get back to doing the basics well. We know performance-wise and results-wise, we've not always been there. There've been too many times this season we've fell short of what we expect. And again, it's just bringing that back. And a lot of it comes down to doing the basic things well, consistently, and that's what we've not done enough of. So again, we just want to strip that back, make the players believe in what we try to do, in terms of, not that they haven't, but there's been, when results don't go your way, there's always question marks, there's a lot of noise around the place, so it's stripping that back, giving them the belief to go out and perform, and we know ultimately that we've got a good enough squad here, to go out and get good results.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, the players better than anyone. Do you believe in them and their qualities and what they can achieve despite a disappointing season?
Yeah, of course I believe in them, and again, it's not shying away from the results this season, shying away from the position we find ourselves in. Everybody takes responsibility for that. You've got to do that at a club at Celtic, the expectation from the fans, but also internally, the expectations of ourselves, to deliver that continually year on year. We fell short of that this year. We've got to kind of accept that, face up to it, and try and put that right. But I've worked with the players long enough, I know them inside out, I know what they can bring. There's probably not enough times this year they've shown that. So it's up to everybody, myself and all the staff to try and bring that out in them on a more regular basis, and allow them to go out there and really express themselves and play the way we know they can. You
mentioned the game on Saturday, and without asking you to give too much away, are there some changes, however big or small, that you look to make for the game against Aberdeen?
Yeah, there's the small things that we've discussed already. There's things we've looked at in training, and I think this year there's been a lack of consistency, and that's been the key thing in terms of not being clinical enough at the top end, sometimes maybe forcing things too quickly and not having a good enough quality attacks, and secondly, giving too many cheap goals away, and again, it's facing up to the honesty of that, is we've conceded too many goals from set plays. There's been, for what teams offer in an attacking sense against us in games, we've conceded too many goals, so in the main, control of the games have been good. It's just, again, dealing with what comes our way in terms of in our own box, and make sure we're a bit more clinical at the top end, and then that from there hopefully you can breed more confidence in the players and just build on it.
Just finally, you've had various roles behind the scenes at the club since 2010. You became first team coach, of course, under Ronnie Dyler, then Brendan, and of course assistant manager under Neil. Besides obviously wanting to put your own stamp on things, will you be channeling bits of all three of those guys while in the role?
Listen, I've learned a lot from everyone I've worked with, all my years of studying obviously the game away from here and internally with the guys I worked with. They've all been terrific guys to work with, learned a lot from them. But I just ultimately want to be honest to myself, be who I am, and as long as every day comes in to try and improve and do the better for the team, that goes a long way in terms of how I work.